So a week ago, I was all about this, talking about the Doom release coming from Limited Run Games and Randy Linden, the original developer of Doom for the Super Nintendo, and just how crazy this all was with the new Super FX 3 chip that they developed in order to do this. How there was a lot of new things going on, new levels, improved performance, like full motion video, rumble support on original hardware with Retrobit making the controller for the system. And it goes beyond that, though. And I think this is really interesting, no matter what you have to say about limited run games. This stuff just really intrigued me. But like I said, it goes beyond all this. Of course, this is all like, hey, they're going to be selling this, they're going to be making money, they're a business. I get it. But with how, like, how do you say it? With how developer friendly, community friendly this all has seemed to become is just amazing to me. So this leads to something else. This leads to something else. I want to just really talk about this because this is really exciting stuff. So I don't know if you're aware of this ROM hack, Star Fox EX. This is originally called Star Fox Exploration Showcase. I think it just goes by Star Fox EX now. This game, the ROM hack, it was originally developed, and it's still, that's the way it's gone about, from the leaked source code from Star Fox. And it's really freaking interesting, just to be straight up with you. It's been ongoing for, I believe, about a year and a half was the first release. And there is so much to this ROM hack. Like I said, from the leaked source code from the game, and with what they've done here with this game is just amazing. New levels, new bosses, music, backgrounds, tons of new enemies. They do have the original game, the original map still in there. Tons of customizations and whatnot. 3 pages of pre-game menu customizations. You could use the mouse, the super scope, multi-tap, multiplayer, play with 2, 3, 4, 5 people, AI-controlled teammates, ships all controlled by one player, wireframe mode, customize your player ship in crosshair style. There's all sorts of crazy things you could do with this game, with this ROM hack, right? And I've played through it, and it's really intriguing. Back in the day when Star Fox first came out, my mind was blown with what could be done on the Super Nintendo. Now, obviously, that original Super FX chip was, you know, the main culprit there with what was being done, but it was amazing, you know, back in the 90s to see this kind of stuff on the Super Nintendo. But the game, I mean, it's sluggish. Playing it today, it's sluggish, but it's still freaking fun, man. I love Star Fox. And playing Star Fox EX with all the customizations, I don't mess around too much with it because when you start really messing with things, I played it on original hardware and on the Super NT with my my SD2 SNES Pro. I believe it's called, what, the FX Pack Pro now instead of the SD2 SNES. But you could play, like, you know, Super FX games on this flash cart. But, you know, I played it on this, and there was moments where, like, I messed with some of the, like, the CPU adjustments, frame rate stuff, and it would mess up the game a little bit. So I just stopped messing with those things. I would just do the customizations with the, like, the ships, changing the ships and stuff like that, and that's fine. If you do wind up messing with things and it messes with the game, and say, like, you go back into the game and it's all jacked up and maybe the game freezes, just delete the save file off of your micro SD card and go back into it, and it'll be fine. So I just stopped messing with those things. I said, still work in progress. You may have different results, but if you don't mess with those things, the game runs fine. But there's moments in the game where they just really push it to its limits, and the slowdown, man, it gets kind of slow at times, where there's just so many things going on screen at once, and it's like, what the heck, man? Like, it's just ridiculous. And moments of slowdown doesn't really take away from it. I'm just telling you, there's these little moments of, like, slowdown where it's like you're hitting the button to shoot and it's like you're not shooting, and then it passes like a few seconds later because there's just so many, like, you know, objects on the screen, enemies and whatnot. And it's like, holy crap, dude, like, they went crazy with this damn ROM hack. But I noticed that, right? But to circle back, the whole reason I was talking about Doom, limited run games, Randy Linden, this Star Fox EX, and them being more, like, open to the community with this kind of stuff is because with that Super FX and the Super FX 3 and the Super Nintendo Rumble support, they're making this stuff available to the community. That's crazy that Limited Run Games is actually going to put this stuff out there for developers to use. I previously had mentioned that I had seen that they were going to let Rumble be out there to let people use that, and it makes sense. Like if Retrobit's going to, make a commercially available controller that has that built in that plugs into a Super Nintendo or a Super Nintendo clone console like Super NT, and it only works for one game. Like, come on, man. Like, I would imagine, Retrobit, they make a lot of Super Nintendo games, or they put out Super Nintendo games, mostly re-releases, maybe, but they have worked with independent developers like indies. Maybe other people will make games and Retrobit may release them, or maybe Limited Run Games will release games for other people and they could have Rumble support in it, and then that controller can get more use. But developers out there putting their games out that they could either release and put them on cartridges, or put the ROMs out there so you could use it on a flash cart on original hardware, be able to use that. So they're putting that out there, the Rumble support. And I talked about that momentarily in a previous video, but they're also going to put the SuperFX 3 chip out there that Randy Linden, who works for Limited Run Games, they're going to make that available. So Kando here, Kando Wantu, I don't know if I'm saying his, little alias correctly. My apologies if I'm not, but that's just the way it goes. Much appreciation to this individual for all the work he's done out here. But with the Star Fox EX and the new ROM hack, the ROM hack plaza.org website that hosts all the ROM hacks and whatnot. But he announced that the Star Fox EX is going to have the SuperFX 3 chip that Randy Linden's put out. And Randy Linden responded like, hey, told him DM him. He'll get those Rumble specs to him as soon as they're available, so he can incorporate that into Star Fox, right? And if you go through, like, on Twitter or X, whatever, there's a lot of information. This individual, like, hey, SuperFX 3 means what? More processor speed, overclocked. What's going on? Fewer wait states, more processing speed, more ROM space. So I'm thinking maybe like those little, because the Star Fox EX, like I said, those few little instances where there's a little more slowdown than what I'm accustomed to in Star Fox, maybe that'll help with that. Like maybe it'll smooth that out a bit, right? It's gonna take a little work, It's not like instantly, like soon as Kando has that available, that it's just going to instantly be implemented. I don't know that that's going to happen, but this is something to keep an eye on is all I'm saying. But I would imagine that could be something that happens. So this is really cool. And a follow up here, another tweet. Let me see. Yeah, Randy Linden on the 10th. So this is like almost a week ago. We'll eventually release the specs for the SuperFX 3 so it can be emulated. I retweeted this, that day. I if you don't follow me on Twitter, I'm always trying to update these things I talk about, as putting them back on videos and pinned comments. Not everybody sees that, but I did put that out there. I put a screenshot in case things get deleted. You never know, somebody deletes a tweet or whatever, but I screenshotted this and mentioned it out there. So follow me on Twitter, so we're always talking about these things and updating, stories that we talk about and little events that are going on in the gaming world. But yeah, he did mention that SuperFX 3 is going to be, the specs are going to be put out there. People are going to be able to use them and all that. So I think this is really cool. I'm excited for this stuff. I love the Super Nintendo, one of my all-time favorite consoles. And just to see things like the expansion of the SuperFX chip with the new version 3, I don't think they're going to market it as that, obviously, with Nintendo, Argonaut, and all that, with the whole intellectual property. Like Limited Run Games isn't calling it that. These are people outside of official, marketing calling it that. I don't think that's what it's. I don't think the Doom cartridge is going to have that printed on there or on the box. SuperFX 3. It would be kind of cool, but they're not marketing as that. Just everybody else is calling it that. So I've seen a few people mention that, but I just think it's sweet that they're going to put that out there for people to utilize. It's really awesome. All the MSU1 stuff that we've gotten, all the cool things that people have been able to utilize to keep the Super Nintendo alive. And I think this is awesome that they're going to be putting this out there for people to use. So there you go. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Bye.